Ring, 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 click. No. Sorry, can't do it. Not right now. Maybe later. But you got my voicemail. And if you want to leave a voicemail, I would love to listen to it. I will enjoy listening to it. And leave a message after the ba-da-ba. Oh yeah, this is Basil. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye. Yo, so I mentioned Space Battle Lunchtime, but I didn't really mention how much I appreciated it. It's so pretty. We started on the third volume because that's what I got from the library because I wasn't really paying attention and it looked fun. And also, it's called Space Battle Lunchtime. Yes, it's all of the things that I want. And it's a card game, so I want to get that and play that and see how it goes. But what I appreciate most about Space Battle Lunchtime is that it's. I don't know who wrote it. I should have looked that up. You'll know why I say that at the end of it. It's just nice that Space Battle Lunchtime is just like, oh, cool. Here's a queer POC main character that doesn't need to be overtly anything. And they just are. And that's great. And I appreciate that. That's delightful representation. Space lesbians in the cutest way. It's delightful. And by the cutest way, I mean like they kiss twice. And it's like, oh, cool. Delightful graphic novel with delightful lesbians. And it's not like, lesbians. And it's not like anything. It's delightfully casual. It's great. And I want to say the same thing about Ditch Witch, Roadkill Witch, Snapdragon. I want to say the same thing about Snapdragon because it was good ish. It was kind of good. And again, it was nice that it was like, oh, cool, casual trans people, like without making it a thing. Like casual, everyone's black and POC without making it a thing. Gesundheit. Gesundheit. I know there's a lot of pollen in the air. I'm watching it. I just swept the deck and now it's a carpet of pollen. Gross. But also, hooray. But also, snuffles and sneezes and snot in my nose. And I wanted Snapdragon to just be like, oh, cool, here's this like black female main lead with this like trans friend, and they're just like doing their thing, and witches and magic and great. But then, honestly, then I look up the artist, and it's just like, cool, white person, great. And yeah, white people, you should have like POCs in your stories. But now, kind of like knowing that it's a white person story, it's not as bad as Ghosts. Ghosts was a graphic novel that was by this white person who's like really uh, touted now. Everybody loves her now. And Rainer Teligmaster, or something, Teligmeister, I don't know. Something like that. Raina Telig. Raina T. Anyway, Ghosts was about like uh, Latinx Mexican family who didn't really know or engage in their heritage, so they learned when they moved to this small town, they learned how to celebrate the Day of the Dead, essentially. And it's like not the whole point of the book, but it's kind of the whole point of the book. And it came out around the same time as Coco, which was, you know, the same kind of idea of like, okay, this is like barely not just a by white people for white people thing, but it basically just is. And that's how Ghosts felt, except for a little dirtier, because it was just like, oh, you need your characters to be ignorant of their culture so you can teach it to them, white person. It felt a little bit like that. It felt like that. It felt like very outsider. It felt like it was written by an outsider, and it just didn't feel right. And I threw it away. I threw away the book in the trash. I didn't even send it to a place where anyone could get it. I put it with the God books in the trash. Actually, the God book, most recent God book that we got from a little free library, is in the basement because I'm gonna sand it down and repaint it and make it a sketchbook because I just like the size of it, physical size, and the cover. And big deal. Now it's mine. But otherwise, it would go in the trash with this. Snapdragon isn't necessarily going to go in the trash, but it was close. It's a little bit of like Mystic Negro. It's a little bit of like the white person teaching people things. And I like that it's like casual lesbians and casual trans people and casual POC, but it's also like, oh, cool, all the black people are going to live in the trailer park. Oh, cool, the white person's going to like teach the black person the magic. It just felt a little, again, it felt a little outsidery. And it's not as bad as Ghosts, but I'm not going to read it again. I'm not going to recommend it to people. That's for sure. I'm going to say this about it, this thing that I said about it, where I'm kind of like, no. Okay. Um, I left all the rhubarb out yesterday, and I don't know if it's salvageable. So I'll go look on that. And the first stalks are starting to get kind of gnarly. But I remembered to buy compost and manure. So anyway, I gotta go take care of that. It's a storms a brewing outside. All right, I'll talk to you later. Oh, this is Basil. Bye.
Do 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 da da da.